Hello, it's Amy with Paper Moon Journals, and I have this pair of similar, but not the same, Dollhouse journals. So even when I try to sit there and make two the same, I can't. Part of it is I ran out of this Dresden trim. A lot of the Dresden trim I'm running out of, and when I tried to reorder it, she was out of stock. So so that happened. But yep, I got the covers pretty close to the same. And then after that, they take off. So let's show you them one at a time and make sure I'm in frame here. And there's the back. Let's get some measurements here. Oh, right. It's 3 3/4, almost 4 inches wide by almost 6 inches tall. And then I used a clip to just make sure the tag isn't flapping in the pocket. Isn't that pretty? I used the images by Pixie Dust Files in combination with Sam Poole's little French book. I had made a dollhouse one and then started making the little French books, and then I thought, wow, the two together would just be the cutest thing. So here they are. You hear my little dog. He loves to do his little shake and jangle and race back and forth whenever I'm doing my filming. That's like his favorite thing. He loves that. I'm not as much a fan of it. He's adorable, but why, if he would just settle down. I packed this envelope with cute little dolly dresses and tiny little teddy bears and some of the little cards for spelling, probably. Spelling or practice handwriting, maybe. And then here's some other small ephemera tucked into the pocket. And a little dolly there. The ephemera here. Lots of tiny ephemera tucked behind that little teddy bear. It's really sweet. It's got the page from a catalog like JCPenney or something for dolls, antique dolls for sale. It's really nice. Then I added flowers from Shabby Dabby Doodah for fussy cut flowers. I love those. They look nice on everything. And here's more, another piece of that page of the dolls for sale. She just has the prettiest images and this nice little label there. And a collage tag using some sheet music for my digital kit, some Sam Poole vintage document. And then this is Sam Poole from the French kit. So I included some stuff from the French kit with the little French book. And then some sheet music and other things. And I just made that like a tough spot. All the stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here. Let's just pull some of it out. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. A bunch of small little labels and pieces you could use for collage. And that cute little girl with her dolly in the carriage. That's so sweet. There's another girl with like her little Lenzi doll. Must be a little German girl with her little Lenzi doll. And this one with her sweet little cake. I love when the little paper dolls peek out from behind the house. That one there. And this is a favorite tag. It's so pretty. I backed it with another tag. And then in this pocket, there's this pink tag here. This is actually a picture of some dolls inside my doll cabinet that I had on my phone. I printed out. There's another collage tag using some of that, again, sheet music and vintage document. Some of the sheet music in the collection has writing on it, like book page, so that's nice. glued to the page. I'll need to fix that. I'll go through with my my little ink pad, or I'll glue something over there where that got stuck. I think when I glued the flower down, I didn't realize it went through this really thin doily paper. It went through the paper and glued through both layers. Lesson learned there. And here's those sweet little cards that come with one of the, I think the Dollhouse tags kit. And here's another one of those cute little dresses. That's the end of the first signature. There's 2 signatures with 36 pages each for a total of 72 pages. And in that way, they're both the same. They both have the mix of the French papers and the Dollhouse papers. They should have a similar number of pockets and things, but there was a gap between when I made the first one. I made a custom order. I made the Kitty Christmas journal. Thank you so much to the person who bought that. That was really nice. That whooshed out of my shop. All my Christmas journals have in just like a couple hours after sharing them and listing them. That has been such a blessing and has made me feel so good. That just is such the nicest feeling that, you know, it didn't take a week or so to find someone that loved it. It just took a few hours like that. That's a really amazing feeling. And that's just been a huge blessing to my family that people have been buying from the Etsy shop. Here's another custom collage tag with cute fussy cuts, and then here's some of the sheet music from my sheet music collection. It was a scrap, I just glued it shut. That makes a nice ephemera, makes a nice sturdy tag when you do that. And then I just really like how the little French book papers looked with the Dollhouse kit together. It looks like I should have been more patient waiting for the glue to dry when I added those fussy cut flowers, because we have a lot of pages stuck together where there were those flowers. But yeah, I'll come through and repair the damage. No, you won't even know. I hope this doesn't distress anybody watching, but I would much rather have it happen now on the video than later when somebody gets it in their home. Like that would be more distressing if something got glued shut. I don't know, humidity or something like that. Perhaps it could get glued shut after leaving, but we've said it before, these videos are like a final quality control. And then every once in a while they go back to the craft table after the video, like this one. There were a few tears that I'll go, and it'll make it more interesting is what happens, is there'll be another flower there, or maybe a little dimensional paper flower, or, you know, there'll be something new and pretty in the place of the little tear. Now, I love this house. It's really colorful and sweet. I backed it onto some of her paper. It's really pretty, Debrina's paper over at Pixie Dust Files. By now, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know I have a lot. If you're not, welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in to watch. I sure appreciate that. I know your time is valuable, and even more so if you haven't paid out of, you know, opted out of the commercials to sit and watch commercials to see my videos. That's, you know, that's loyalty there. So here's another. I did an envelope in the center of each signature on both of them, both of the journals. I thought that was nice. And then this time I pulled all the stuff out. So when I say there's lots of little things in there, you'll see what I mean. There's these fussy cut flowers. There's some little tiny tags and labels. I do like to include small scraps that I think are pretty that I would use in collage. Like when collaging tags, or it just looks pretty if you just glue them down here, just 2 of them there, like that. You could glue the 2 together and then glue just the top down and leave that as a tuck spot for this label. So if you ever buy my journals and you wonder, like, why are these tiny little paper scraps in there? That's what they're in there for, if you want to. There's still room to work in here. There's still lots of pages that have room to do spreads, to add more tuck spots. There's so much ephemera in here, especially in the envelopes and stuff, that you would have things to tuck into those little spots that you made quite easily. And that was the idea when I put all of these things a jumble in the pocket, is that you could do it. I ink up some of the tags. I don't ink up other ones. Maybe you would want to ink this one in blue. Maybe you'd like to stamp on the back. Maybe you'd like to make embellishing this tag, you know, part of your project, or take this out and use it in another project that you have, because there's so much in here. You could take, you know, a third of the stuff out and use it in something else if you wanted. Or it's just fun to have all these pockets full of goodies. I love this tag. These house-shaped tags with the dolls on them are gorgeous. You know, there's one on the cover. There's several throughout. And that little bunny, isn't that sweet? So yeah, so here's a sampling of everything that's in the pocket. And the other pocket was like that too, with lots of cute little pieces in there as well. Is really nice, pretty ephemera. Some of it inked up and some of it not. I like the contrast of, like, you probably noticed the other little dolly ones were inked on the edges and then these ones aren't. I like the clean, crisp look of these. I also like the inked look. So to me, I think that adds more interest. Sometimes I'll sit and I'll ink everything. Usually that's just, if I'm lacking inspiration, then I'll sit and I'll ink things while I'm waiting for inspiration to arrive. If I'm feeling really inspired, there's not a lot of inking that happens because I'm so inspired. I'm just busy creating. And then I'll go back through and I'll ink up a few things that I want to add detail to, like this at the end. I'll go back through at the very end and ink up whatever I want. But when I'm on fire, you know, on these projects, the inking doesn't really happen. So I know I did sit down last night. I'm making a third one like this. And I sat and inked all of the ephemera because it was too close to bed and I didn't want to sew the pages in or do any of the other parts of the making yet. So I just sat there and inked up all the stuff I made until bedtime. But yep. It's really sweet. I love how it came out, and I really like I have several different Shabby Dabby Doodah fussy cut kits with ephemera and stuff. She was one of my first channels that I started watching when I first got into junk journaling. Hi Tina, if you're watching. As if, right? But her fussy cut flowers are just great. They come in different sizes, and just the scale of them looks beautiful on everything. They have a nice vintage look. And I love them. When I remember to use them, I would use them on every project. They're out and in sight, so as long as they don't get put away, then I'll remember to use them. That's the thing, is you have so many great fun supplies, and digitals is where's all the time? There's so many great ideas and great digitals. There's just not enough time in the day, or enough journals. I just can't get enough of it. But here's some really beautiful tags. Another one of those precious house-shaped tags with just the most gorgeous images. Pixie dust files. All the doll images are hers, but I just love this dollhouse shaped tag kit. The dolls on there, and they're just so beautiful. They just make my heart sing with you know, with all the good feelings that I get when I look and see dolls or cute, pretty things. So again, here's some of that French ephemera from the French kit, and then the dollhouse ephemera. I did a good job of just sticking to the dollhouse kit and the French kit without adding too many other things, so that it would be, you know, accessible if somebody wanted to try to recreate or imitate the project, as opposed to trying to get their hands on one. I do try to share sneak peeks of my projects before I make them available for sale. So if you are interested in something during the sneak peek, you know, definitely mention it, and I'll, you know, give you first dibs if I can. Or maybe just make a second one to sell and then, you know, let you have the sneak peek. But I like this image too. It's the inside of the house with all the little doll furniture. So some of the doll houses are the outside, some are the inside, and I just thought this was really sweet. Again, I wasn't even able to use all of the little doll houses because there's so many, and the different shapes, you know, some fit this size project better than others. This little one I glittered up quite a bit and added a bunch of fun trim. It's another one of those Dollhouse ones. So again, in the front and the back, I tended to do more glittering and more decoration, but I like that contrast of having some that's just, this is really a wow when you see it, as compared to the other ones that were also gorgeous, you know, but less decorated. So this one's beautiful, and then when you get to this one, it's like, wow, it's just over the top pretty. And I think that's really fun, having the some with all the glitter and all the stuff, and some that are just simply pretty, as they are. Okay, so this is the first one. We're gonna call this one the blue and gold, even though it's really silver and gold with just a little, they both are the same colors. The only difference is the little crowns. This one has little blue crowns on them, and this one has the gold crowns. But other than that, you know, the covers are very similar. I added more glitter to the top instead of, and gold wax all the way around. This one has silver trim and some of that gold Dresden trim that I'm out of, that's out of stock. So let's look at the one that has the out of stock trim on it. The one I can't exactly imitate. And here's the back of that one. And if you look, I did slightly different patterns with which were gold and which were silver on them. You know, again, I'm just terrible at trying to do things same. I just think, oh, what if I did this though? But what if I did it this way this time? And here, let's look at some other differences. This one has silver on the bottom and 4. This one has gold on the bottom and 3. Until I had just enough to finish one more, I think, of the books with these, with that same trim on top. But then I'll have to be switching that out. Yes, here's the tag on the front of this one, backed onto some sheet music. It's extra sturdy. And then here was a little gift tag I made that I was gonna put on the outside of whoever gets this one, if I can remember. Now that I've separated it, we'll put it on the clip, right? And then let's get this open. Used a generous amount of sari silk on the ties. Look how long those are. Isn't that nice? I just love the feeling of the sari silk. This one has a little house where she peeps out from behind the house. This was the first one I made, and that's how it has the, you know, the trim I'm out of, because I used the last of it on here. And then, again, more of those shabby dabby doodah flowers and the little fussy cut dolls. This one's been flipped through already, so there shouldn't be any pages stuck together here. Shame for you, because that means I'll be going a lot faster. Oh, right, so she had a freebie that was a collaged page, and I fussy cut out some of those from the collaged page. So that's different about this one. I didn't remember to do that in the other one, of course, that we just looked at. And then here you can see, here's some of the full-sized. The other ones I had shrunk down. These ones I did full-size. These ones I backed on polka dot. The other ones I didn't. So you can see, for me, it's more fun that way. If I sat and copied it exactly, that would feel a bit like a chore. But to take the same things and to do something different with them, or what I thought was the same things, almost exactly the same things, and to do something different with them the second or third time, that for me is fun. To do it different ways each time. That's what keeps it fun and exciting, even though I'm redoing the same theme and using the same digitals. I just love this card and this sentiment. I tried to put little ribbon on the tags that had pretties on them. So there's some blank tags, just like with the other one, that you could use. You could embellish more. You could make them match your project. You could glue down this little bunny to this little card like a tuck spot, and then tuck that little tag in there, this pretty little tag. Again, they're there so that you can play with them. I kept some of the things, you know, ready for you to play with, or they're also just simply pretty. They're a little bit of a break from the grungy and the stained. Then you have a little bit of the crisp and the clean. So it's very intentional that some things are inked and that some aren't. Originally, when I would sell them, I wondered, you know, what if people think that I forgot or I missed that? If they went, wow, she forgot these. You know, no, I didn't. I like the interest and the contrast of having both. Although there are times where I will ink everything or almost everything. Usually it's, you know, boredom or close to bedtime or something like that. But it does happen. The grungier look. I like to use color usually when I ink up page edges and things like that. That makes it fun. So here's another pocket loaded full of stuff. Let's see what's in this one. One of those gorgeous little house tags with the sweet little dollies on it. So in this one, I shrunk down the house shaped tags. And in the other, the second one that I made, I didn't. This one has a little bit of little birdie ephemera in it from the Pixie dust files. I can see I had some of that stuff probably left out when I made this. And then these are offcuts from the ballet papers that were tall, narrow. And so to cut them to size, the offcut pieces were so pretty. I glued them shut and made them into little, into pieces of ephemera. Isn't that fun? Yeah, my dog, he gets so excited when I do the voiceovers. I think I've said this before. You can't always hear him when I comment on it, but I feel like he's trying to participate in the voiceover of the video by shaking or barking, racing back and forth. You know, he gets excited too. I think it's fun for everybody. So this time I used a little house-shaped tag to be a tuck spot on the back of that pocket, and had the little dream and shine tags in there. And then have a little paper doll in here. This one's been backed onto chipboard. She's like, could tuck into the cover worthy. Normally it's 2 layers of cardstock glued together, which is really sturdy on its own. But this one, I can feel there's a layer of chipboard in between there, making her, you know, very sturdy. And there's a couple labels. These labels were Amity Bloom, and I know I've had these out in my work area for a while. Just a cute little stack of these little I was looking for something, I found this page, I cut them all out, and then I just toss them in whenever I can remember that they're sitting there. And again, here's those tags that we admired in the other book that had the listing of the antique dolls for sale. Of course, they weren't antique then, you know, in the day. This is like probably an 18 or 1900s. Looks like an 1800s catalog with the little prices. Probably Sears, an old Sears or JCPenney, or maybe Montgomery Ward catalog. Back when I was growing up, we lived in a really rural area, and there weren't any stores. You know, would have to drive a couple hours to get to any stores, and so the Montgomery Ward and like JCPenney's catalogs, those were really cool. There was a town like a little over an hour away where you could go pick up your deliveries from the JCPenney and Montgomery Ward in the store. And I remember we would do that. We would get our tennis shoes once a year from the Sears catalog, and you know, one pair of shoes and pick out our school clothes or whatever from the catalog. That was fun. We also would cut paper dolls and things from the old catalog, which is probably not only the advertisement, but what makes me think of this was when we needed something to do, my mom would say, cut paper dolls out of magazines or something, you know. That would be one of the things. We didn't have electricity when I was growing up because we lived too far out, and it wasn't profitable for them to put electricity there. So there just wasn't any. And yeah, so there was a lot of crafting. It's probably why I love crafting so much, and in particular paper crafting, because I did spend a lot of time crafting with paper things, making little collages for magazines and catalogs and things like that, cutting them out. Who knew then, right? Little Amy didn't know that she was to become a serious paper crafter in her middle years. So just more of those beautiful little French papers mixed in with the Dollhouse papers, and then I added, you know, of course, the fussy cut dolls to the little French papers to make everything dolly and Dollhouse themed. See, in this one, instead of using this as a card like we did in the last one, in this one it's a tuck spot. And there's some pretty ephemera in here, and this gorgeous tag with the hot air balloon, that blue hot air balloon, and the roses and everything. I'm not sure I gave you a good look at that in the last video. Take a good look at it in this one, or in that video, in that, you know, when we went through that one. Sometimes I will sit and do multiple videos in a row But today I thought, since they're just the same, almost the same thing, that we would go through them together. Of course, when I collage the tags, you know, I do those come out different every time. And instead this time I used Debrina's grungy papers. This lined is from her grungy paper, and I printed it onto card and used my tag top punch, my favorite tag top punch, and some book page. And then that's probably the backside of one of my sheet music sheets. I had a bunch of that printed out to share and to do the listing. So I've been using the heck out of it. I love it. I couldn't believe it. I was going to get more sheet music to use on yesterday, and I was like, what? I'm out already? All I have is the sheet music covers. The pages that were just sheet music are all used up. And let's see, this is another picture that's from my doll cabinet of little dolls inside my cabinet. I thought that would be nice. I figure whoever likes this probably likes dolls. And then if you're a fan of me or my work, I don't know, I just thought it might be neat to see some of the dolls I have. And then I love these stacked pockets. I need to remember to do that again. The little polka dotted pocket over this one with the rickrack at the bottom, that is just so sweet. I want to repeat that. That looks adorable. And the one I'm making, I started it last night, as I said, and I have the ephemera all ready and the pages ready, the cover ready. Just need to sew things together and start gluing it down. And then I'll have a third one of these. I thought that might be nice. Again, I've been so grateful that my recent postings have flown out of my shop within just a few hours of sharing it on social media. And that's been so exciting. So to help account for that, and because it's fun, you know, I made multiples this time. So I know I did that with the Christmas coffee shop. It sold quickly, and then I made 3 more. And that worked well because the other 2, you know, the first 3 sold really quickly. That 4th one, somebody had almost a month to get their hands on one. So that was nice, you know, that it wasn't gone so fast. Isn't this nice? I don't want people to be disappointed and just never go look. Be sure it's gone because the stuff they wanted was gone so quickly. Or like I said before, if there's something you see, if you follow me on social media, if there's something you see you like in the sneak peek, definitely mention you're interested in it. You know, so I'll give you a chance before I list it if you're the first person, you know, to ask for a chance at the finished one. There's that card again. I think this one was bigger and decorated fancy in the other book in the back. Again, they're similar, but not exactly the same. This one has the birdie ephemera in it, but they both have all of the dollhouse shaped tags. They both have all of the same, all of the French papers, all of the same dollhouse pages were used. They both will have the envelope in the middle of the signature. They'll have a doll dress, not the same one, but they'll have a doll dress that dangles from one of the pages. I saw Maria at Under the Night Moon. She's so inspiring. I saw this in hers. I've seen other people do it before, but when she did it with one of the doll dresses, that's what was really memorable for me. If for some reason you haven't seen her channel or her stuff, definitely check her out. She's amazing. It's from one of her videos that I found Debrina and these digitals. It was her dollhouse, a dollhouse that she made, kit that she made that I saw her, that video, and I went to go look at Pixie Dust files, and then that was it, you know, it was on. My life changed. It really did. It sounds silly to say that, but I just bought her digitals. I love them. I feel like all of my projects look better that have her stuff in them, for real and for true. I don't get anything for saying that. We have become friends because she's so sweet and friendly. Here's another collage tag that I made. And again, this journal had ones where I cut apart pieces from the freebie. So they were overlapping and at odds angles. So there would be pieces just got cropped out. And so I cut down the pieces that were usable of that paper and then made tags in this one. That was fun. But I was uncertain about how I felt about how they looked in here. It looks great. But when I was first done with it, I was like, I don't know. So when I made the second one, I didn't do that. I did something else. This one I remember has a lot more of the lace topped tags, making it a little bit fatter and bulkier. And I didn't do quite as many bows and tag toppers in the second one. It was plenty fat though. Somehow it's just as fat, or at least as fat, maybe more fat. It's hard to say. And then in the back of this one, I have this really big fancy tag. Again, with some of the things that I'm out of stock on. And that's it. The two little Dollhouse journals. That'll be in my Etsy shop, surely, by the time you've seen the listing. If they're not in the shop and you follow the link, it's because they've sold already, and my apologies for that. That's why I suggest you follow me on social media. Again, I do live in a rural area still, not as much as when I grew up. We have electricity and things, but because of our area, it does take a long time for things to upload to the internet and then get them back down and edited and then scheduled for YouTube so that I can have things twice a week. I have things scheduled. So this will just fall about, 2 weeks after I film it. And they might be gone by then. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and welcome to any new people watching. I'd love it if you would like, subscribe, and share my channel or this video with anybody else you think might enjoy the content. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.